The library is a place that is full of wonder and holds more than just books. They have musical collection, media archives, training events, and a whole lot more. Today, I'm at the main branch of the Detroit Public Library to find out what's going on today. You know, Detroit is full of talent, and there's no way to acknowledge all of it. But the City of Detroit's neighborhood team has put together an exhibit to pay homage to a few of them. So while I'm looking for the gallery, take a look at this next episode.
My name is Dana White, and I am the owner of Paralee Boyd Salon here in Midtown Detroit. We specialize in natural and healthy hair care for women with thick and curly hair. Most of us want our hair to thicken or grow. In order to tell our hair to grow, we have to wash away residual oils, residual dirt that helps stimulate hair growth. For us at Paralee Boyd, washing hair consists of at least 2 to 3 washes. During the first wash, we're not expecting the hair to set up. What we are expecting is to loosen any oil or dirt that is accumulated. For most people, especially women with thick and curly hair, dirt and oil can accumulate to the point where it needs to be removed in a matter of 5 to 10 days. So we recommend for those of you that are serious about having their hair grow that they wash their hair every 5 to 10 days. So after the shampoo is completed, after that third shampoo, the shampoo is properly rinsed out. We towel dry the hair to get any excess water off, and then we apply a deep conditioner. Once that conditioner is evenly applied, both to the hair and to the scalp, she'll put a plastic cap on her and sit her under the deep conditioner dryer and let her stay there for about 15 to 25 minutes, depending on the length and thickness of her hair. The blow dry is extremely important, culmination with the wash. If the blow dry is not right, the hair won't be right. When we blow dry, that's where we set your hair. That's where we determine where your part's gonna be. That's where we determine how your hair is gonna be styled at the blow dry chair. It's only when you go to the styling chair that we just put in curls to make it look good. But your hair, as far as we're concerned, is done after the blow dry. Also part of hair growth, if you're gonna take care of the root, you have to take care of the end. A lot of women have healthy hair up until about 6 inches from the end of their hair, because that's all dead hair. They're under the myth that because their hair is 6 inches long or their hair is a foot long, that 6 inches of that is healthy. It's not. So we also have to recommend trimming. Paralee Boyd is my grandmother. She passed away in 1989 of pancreatic cancer. She was from Camp Branch, Kentucky, and in 1940s, early 1950s, the possibilities for a young black girl from a small town in Kentucky to be an entrepreneur were limited. She met a man, had a great job at a plant called General Motors, and gave her the offer to get married and move up north with him. And so they did, and they lived in Highland Park, had 3 girls, and I am a granddaughter. These are our customers, and it was important for me to showcase them in their different shapes, their sizes, ages. And in essence, it's like me carrying them with me because I could not have gotten here without them. The vision for Paralee Boyd is to grow into a national brand. And it's my hope as we expand that we will extend this invitation to all of our customers, and for those who can be a part of that photo shoot, we will always showcase our guest on the walls. The modern woman does not have time to be in the salon all day. We're a lot more conscious about looking good and being healthy in the process. So we not only want to look good, but we don't want to look good and then be bald in 2 years. No, we want to look good and have our hair thicken and grow.
I'm here with photographer Cyrus Tetteh and a face familiar to the show as co-host of Detroit 360 and assistant director to the exhibit, Amber Lewis. Hi, guys.
What's going on?
I'm well, thank you. Why don't you tell me about this exhibit? I really love the photos you have here. What was the inspiration behind it?
Well, so I've been with the city now in the media department for a little over about 1.5 years. I'm going on 2 years soon. So, but yeah, my boss, Aaron Foley, he's the head of the neighborhoods.org, and he came to us. He was coming to all the team members individually, seeing, what was something he could help us with, some goals we could get accomplished, what kind of projects we wanted to work on. And at the time, I was excited that he asked that, but I had no idea what I wanted to work on. I just know I wanted to get good shots of, good people around the city. So I met with Amber and Evan and a lot of other people on my team, Kenzie, Dorothy at the time. So yeah, we met up and we brainstormed, and Amber had brought up a Vogue video that she just saw. It was a feature on
Brandon Maxwell. He highlighted a model who was from Detroit, and he essentially took her back to her house where she grew up and like showed her family life and did like an editorial style in this beautiful gown. I'm just walking down the street that she grew up in, and I was like, that would be something cool that we can do in photos.
Yeah, and the idea was, it was really cool. It was something that we could definitely do, like as far as, working on a long-term project and then leveraging, the people that we've been meeting. And Amber, she's been meeting all types of people. So yeah, that's when we paired up and took on the project. I mean, it was only right.
Yeah. So the selection, you have an eclectic group here. How did you come about picking who you wanted to have in the exhibit?
That's a good question. It was an interesting process, and we kicked it off with Mary Wilson. I mean, like an icon.
Yeah, of course.
For Motown, and that was, set the bar for what we wanted to do. I mean, we looked at people who are notable. We looked at people that we knew who were emerging in their own industries, and just people who represented Detroit well and who always kind of had the city on their back. So that's essentially.
Yeah, definitely. And we were definitely looking for authentic, qualities. Definitely had to be from somewhere inside of the city limits. Like, we didn't want to do, any kind of shoots, any exception shoots where we got, all right, this was in Southfield. Or, we wanted to make sure everything was inside of Detroit and they really had an authentic story to tell. So, yeah.
So of the people that you selected for this, tell me who was the most memorable? You have to have a good story about one of them.
Mary Wilson.
Mary Wilson, yes.
The first one.
So with that, she was speaking at Crane's homecoming, and Aaron and I were there. So we were just talking to her, and I texted him like, we should try to get her for the photo series while we're all sitting at the table. So we pitched it, and she was like, well, my flight leaves later, but I was just gonna get together with some family, but I have a little time. So we literally kidnapped her from Crane's homecoming, borrowed one of their chairs with permission from their event staff. And I called Cyrus up, like, meet us here. And we took her back to the Brewster Projects, like where she grew up. And of course, that's not an active space right now. So it was interesting to see her reflect on her lifestyle there and like where she met everybody and the stories that she had to tell. But it's like we took this huge icon back to her neighborhood. And she's already glammed up. So she's, where's my makeup? I gotta do my makeup. So that was, it set the bar.
The whole thing was a whirlwind. It was just so much happening at once.
Yeah.
It was like we didn't plan any of it. Everything happened that day. We had the idea we should do Mary. Amber went to the VIP in the back. I don't know what she was talking to her about, but she came back with her like, all right, I got her, let's go. And we went on, and then we had a little time to kind of get our thoughts together and scope out the scene. And then it's funny because it all happened so fast, but that became like me and Amber's, our thing, what we did every time, that was like the routine. Scope out the scene, choose some spots to shoot at and, kind of think of some poses just to let it, kind of manifest and sit in our heads. But yeah, it was a whirlwind. I'll never forget the Mary Wilson, We went to Brewster Projects, was peeking in doors like, maybe she could stand right here.
Right.
We don't even know who's in there. Somebody could have been.
Yeah. So that was definitely most memorable.
That's great. Well, with the array of artists, poets, boxers, icons for the city, what is the takeaway you want people to have when they take a look at these pictures and read their stories?
I just want people to know that there are Detroiters doing big things all over the world. And in a city where, growing up, we don't always have immediate influences to look up to. And, the people that our youth glamorize the most is like kind of crime and drugs, the drug stars. But, these people all around here who look like just regular people, these are the people who are doing awesome, amazing things that are from Detroit. And I just kind of, with the project, we want to kind of create that image, make these people the face of success for millennials and young people in the city.
Amber, you have anything to say?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want people to look at these pictures and to feel a familiarity with the places, but also like to learn a little bit more about the people behind them, right? Because you look at Phil and you wouldn't think that he was the editor of HuffPost just by seeing this picture, but you get a little bit about where he's from. So just learning a bit about people's story through these images is kind of like a takeaway that we want as well.
Well, I think the exhibit is really cool, and I'm glad that you allowed me to share this with you. Thank you, girl.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
There's nothing worse than wasting time. Well, maybe waiting in lines. But now I can pay my water bill from my phone, tablet, or laptop. All it takes is a quick click and bam, I can check, manage, and pay my water bill from anywhere. That means more time with the family at Rouge Park, more time for myself on the Riverwalk, or just at home on Outer Drive. I can pay my water bill anywhere. It's that easy. So skip the line and pay your bill online. Visit www.detroitmi.gov/paymywaterbill to register today.
Xenophora is a jewelry brand that's inspired by the curiosities of the ancient world and visions of the future. And Casting de Chrysopia is a full-service jewelry manufacturing facility and design house based here in Detroit. What to me is inspiring is that intangible. You'll see a lot of that in the jewelry itself. A lot of the jewelry is related to certain concepts or feelings or emotions. When I start to make the jewelry, my process actually starts off as a piece of writing. So I call the jewelry themselves streams of consciousness. So I don't sketch for my personal collection. I don't really do any pre-ideation. It's all like feeling. I actually write down like where I am in the world, mentally, emotionally, and physically, and I visualize what that would look like as a piece of jewelry. Lost wax casting is when you take a mold, burn out the mold, and then replace that material that was once there with precious metal. I am obsessed with the casting process with jewelry, and obsessed in a way where it gives me energy that nothing else does. I'm manipulating an idea and manifesting that like a magician. Like I'm making that into reality. To be creating a life for myself, to have a full-service jewelry manufacturing facility in Detroit, my hometown, really feels good. It feels like I'm at home, and I feel like I have the opportunity to impact people that are like me. I find that a lot of people are like, Black jewelers, Black women jewelers, for example, are rare and uncommon. I am not a unicorn. There's billions of Black women that are creators and creators of their worlds and makers, and I'm not a unicorn, but what I will be to my other like women of color is a platform, a support system, a confidant, a friend, a manufacturing partner. Like that to me is important, especially doing it in the city of Detroit because I didn't have that. The whole point of me creating this facility, for example, is to be a platform for people that look like me and also people that don't look like me, and just being all inclusive in that sense. I would not be able to do what I'm doing anywhere else in the world. I've lived in other places in the world and it didn't feel right. You know, Detroit has a soul and you can't replicate that soul anywhere else. And that soul feeds the community. It feeds the people that's coming in to the manufacturing facility, for example, or coming into Xenophora's showroom. It feeds the energy of the people that I'm working with every day. And I don't know if I would be able to get that same soul in anywhere else in the world. When you wear your jewelry, it becomes a part of you forever, until you pass it down. And that's how I want my jewelry to be. I want it to be something that you wear for the rest of your life, or a piece of heirloom jewelry that you can pass on to a loved one or a friend, and they have it forever, and then it lives beyond our physical bodies. Someone told me the other day that the rings that I made her feel like protected, made her feel one with the universe, and made her feel like nothing could touch her. And that felt like the world to me. Like I was like, wow, I am so aligned with my purpose. Like that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Like jewelry is a tool, it's a medium, and really the purpose is to like empower people. As I'm figuring out my own power and as I'm figuring out my own worth, I'm instilling this notion of self-worth and power. And when people tell me that they feel that, I'm like, okay, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I wouldn't do anything else in the world, and it feels good.
Hi, I'm Brandon Smith. I'm a talent developer, and this is Art Detroit.
Just tell me what you need. It's all right here in Detroit. Don't matter what it is, it's all right here. Oh.
I'm Sheila.
Brandon.
So nice to meet you. Thank you for
as well.
having us.
Definitely, my pleasure.
I'm so excited. I've driven past this place a million times and would never have known that this was a recording studio.
Right, yeah. That's how most of them are. Well, these are private suites, producer suites. And then back here is Star Factory. And these are production studios.
So is this a track playing or is there someone in the studio? I hear someone sounds
No,
so
that's
good.
a real voice.
No way.
That is Kinsey. Nice. This is Kinsey. This is Sheila.
Sheila, so nice to meet you. Your voice sounds amazing.
Thank you so much.
Man, I can't wait to chat with you a little bit more and hear about, your artist development.
This is the studio. I designed this room and I wanted to just do like a different, everywhere you look, you can get a different kind of inspiration.
You are a jack of many trades. Talk to us a little bit about what all you do.
Well, it's all under the umbrella of music. I call myself an artist development coach, which means that I take talented people and then I make them better through talent development, which is like vocal training, performance coaching, studio sessions, songwriting coaching, also like on the marketing end. So doing music videos and just creating content for them as well, just so that they can fully launch their career and have a great shot at actually establishing themselves. And then I also am the program director of Adidas Sound Labs. Basically, Adidas puts studios in different schools throughout the country, and they started the first one here in Detroit.
That's awesome. So hopefully we can go by there to take a look at that space. Okay,
Definitely.
I'd be excited to see that.
Okay. I want you doing the most is what I want.
Doing the most.
So if modeling is, then superstarring is, right? I want the most.
Oh, okay.
Like you have to risk looking extremely stupid.
Okay.
How did you even get started in all of this?
I did nothing musically before high school. My senior year, I started writing songs just as a hobby. And so right out of high school, I hit the studio for the first time and I just fell in love. I didn't want to do anything else. And I committed to that and I did it. So I ended up writing songs for the Backstreet Boys and for Trey Songz. So over the last 15 years, I've worn every hat. Started out as an artist and then I quickly phased into being like a producer and a songwriter because I just was better at that. There's nothing that I don't preach to any other artist that I haven't done myself. Like I've put in way more than 10,000 hours, and that's in multiple different realms. Like that's as a producer, that's as a songwriter, you know, that's as an artist developer. You have to connect with people with your eyes. Just give me big Beyonce. Just something about like the rookie. There's something about the potential and watching it grow and watching it explode, you know, potentially explode. Once I got the opportunity, I started this company called Star Factory, and that was 13 years ago. And I've never looked back since.
If there's an aspiring artist that is interested in working with you, where could they find you on social media or find out more about the work that you do?
We're on Instagram and Twitter, Star Factory AD. We do have a website, www.starfactoryad.com. Let me just have you bring the mic up. One hand. Okay, mic down. When you bring it down, I want you to like snap it down to right here. And, like, don't let it up.
You could be working anywhere. Why Detroit?
I just feel like that's just what God wanted. We have a deep, rich history of music and art and culture here, and there's so much talent here. There's so much talent. So me being one of the people who are, you know, instrumental in driving that movement and driving us, getting back to the level where we once were, it's a great responsibility. I feel like Detroit is going to do a lot of big things in the next 10 years, and I definitely want to be a part of it. When you're investing your time in a person, you got to know that they're going to wake up every day and want to work for it. And you have the discipline aspect of it. That's a good formula for matching talent, dedication, and the resources that I can bring. Record labels are not as needed as they used to be. If you have 1 million followers on Instagram, then what is the incentive to sign into a record label? Of nowadays is the actual, your fans, the consumers, they pick, they vote on what they want. And it has made it way more competitive. You're literally competing with every single artist for the attention of like music lovers and consumers and fans. So it's a fun time to be an artist, but it's still just as challenging as it always has in pursuing your dreams. And that's what I'm here for, is to make them understand that this is a real thing that can change your life if you really dedicate your energy to it.
All right, so what are we doing here at the park?
Oh, well, we're gonna be singing on top of a hill, and we're gonna be running down the hill singing and running up the hill singing.
Oh, okay, let's go. Let's go do that. She's like, oh no.
I gotta run.
Open your throat. Open your throat. You sound like an elf. Is that the note that you want people to hear on stage?
No.
If your voice is wobbling, that means you have no support.
Oh yeah. Hold on, let me start over. Hold on.
Keep going. Finish it. Finish it. Finish it. That's all you got to do. Is you just got to use your technique. That's it. Your talent is already amazing. Now you have to teach your body how to be perfect in every situation. How do you feel?
Tired.
Okay.
But I feel like I learned something great. The technique is to sure 100% every single time versus my talent may not always get me up the hill through the tour, but the technique will.
That is perfect. Sometimes it takes taking an L, a loss, to get better, to realize that. So she'll come back tomorrow and she'll win this. She'll do this. She'll defeat this. No, but you did good. You did good.
Thanks.
How'd you beat me here?
Oh, I'm here every day.
All right, I'm excited to check out the sound lab.
Definitely. Come on in.
This is where the magic happens.
Yep.
My heart gets so full of never mind. You gon' cry.
I'm like a one-hit wonders album, I ain't never dropping. If you scared of heights, then my rank is something you ain't topping.
I can't take any more than 50 students, and that's for the whole thing. So 20 artists, 12 managers, and then the rest producers and songwriters. I want kids that are gonna take advantage of every day, every moment.
That's gotta be tough.
Yeah, it is tough because you have to narrow it down based on talent and based on like
Dedication.
desire and dedication.
Stop! Hey, them hamstrings gonna hurt. Stop it. Oh, my hamstring. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They do fitness training.
Okay.
They do performance training, vocal training. And they do some challenges in the studio, but you know, nothing crazy. So I'm usually here like 3 days a week with the students doing music.
Mic down. Mic up.
I don't let them record anything until the second semester. So everything up in there, just kind of learning about the industry, getting a manager, working with different producers, understand the equipment. I want them to have a purpose and a direction before they actually get in that booth.
Sure.
I feel like I've been messing up, and it's only because like I don't know what the whole point of everything is.
So you feel like you're not learning anything?
No, I feel like I don't know what we're supposed to be learning.
So you don't trust my methods?
No,
Teacher.
that's not what I'm saying.
You know, it's all very, very, very new. Like, and when you're doing something this new, it's like you're just learning as you go. You know, my goal is to create a star, is to help kids like actually launch legitimate careers. I'm just trying to align that with Adidas goals and what they're able to do because they're a shoe company. The music business is kind of like something that they're just trying to figure out, you know, how they want to tap into it.
I see that. I see a lot of companies now tapping into things that are not part of what they're known for, but that's just expanding their brand, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's called doing it for the culture.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I just got it. I just got it. Yeah, I'm on my grind. I'm on the place because I'm on time. Never done saying, but I'm done playing because I'm trying to save these young men.
The talent that is in this program every year is not ordinary talent. It's extraordinary talent. Overall, it is a life-changing program for them because even without the career aspect and the recognition, it's like it gives them a reason, an additional reason to come to school.
If you like this episode and want to see more, follow us at City of Detroit. Check out more stories from the neighborhoods at Stories from DET, and tap into featured events in the city on Instagram and YouTube at Burst Detroit.
Weren't those photos nice? You can stop by the Detroit Public Library's main branch to see the Neighborhood Natives exhibit from now until March. And if you're interested in more photos, visit their website, theneighborhoods.org. Thank you for watching Detroit 360, your guide to all things Detroit. I'm Tiffany Crawford. See you next time.